Merry Christmas, everybody. Happy New Year. Happy holidays.
You said, ow! And I said, what? And you said, what did you get for Christmas? And I said, well, when Santa came down my chimney, and did you know Santa only comes once a year because he's got certain problems, and when he came down my chimney, he brought me absolutely nothing. Didn't come down my chimney because he doesn't exist. Doesn't exist. It's a fairy tale. I could get cancelled for that. Right. This is the Jingle Bell, Christmas time video. Jingle bell, Christmas time video.
Jingle bell, Christmas time video.
Of the MiniRigs. The MiniRigs subwoofer. Not the MiniRigs. This is actually a serious video about the MiniRig subwoofer. It's one of those, every few years something comes along and it shakes us up and it says, look at me, look at me, look at me. Look at me, look at me, look at me. Look at me, look at me, look at me. Look at me, look at me, look at me. And it was the MiniRig. So, if you don't remember, MiniRigs have been around a long time, started by the enthusiast, a geezer called David, and started with the wired MiniRig. Slowly evolved over time. I have to say, to me, MiniRig have always been, and always will be, because this is why we love them, it always seems like something of a work in progress. It's like something he's never quite happy. Do you know why? He's an enthusiast. He's going for a certain niche market. Nothing quite like the MiniRigs. There are some that are catching up, but there's nothing quite like the MiniRigs. We've just got the MiniRig subwoofer. Compare it to the Subwoofer 3 then now. Well, I can't because I sold my subwoofers.
What a plonker.
One thing I will say about MiniRigs, I've always had little battery issues, and I was getting issues with my. I had the Sub 2, I had the Sub 3. Did I have the Sub 1? Can't remember. I can't remember. I probably did. But it's a sort of system you can never give up on. But being an enthusiast system, the audiophiles, those well-known audiophiles, sort of love this speaker. It's like there's always something to add on. So, you know, the amp has changed over time. And that's controversial. The MiniRigs have changed over time. The subwoofers change over time. There's a MiniRig Mini, by the way, and I haven't put it on the table because I don't think enough about these things.
Idiot!
I'm trying to now think about being a serious reviewer because the whole point of the review is to say the MiniRig Subwoofer 4 has landed and it's now completely wireless. You can attach a cable. It will come with an audio cable, but will you really want it? Now it's going wireless properly on Bluetooth, and you will get a USB cable. Do you know why? It's now got USB-C, and that's a big deal because obviously for a long time persevered with his barrel charger, and everyone was saying, David, the world's gone USB-C crazy, and then eventually he said, do you know what? You're right, and he gave us the ability to charge by USB-C, but the See, this is one thing, it's always playing catch-up. When the Mark IV came out a year ago,
One eternity later.
we was waiting for the subwoofer to come out at the same time. But it don't work like that. Remember, small company, small British company, made in the UK. It ain't made in China, mates. This is made, some of the components maybe, I don't know. But officially, I've got no idea. Don't quote me. Assembled, made in the UK by a UK geezer.
Chim chimney, chim chimney, chim chim chiree. When you're with a sweep, you're in glad company.
We've still got the old inputs, the auxiliary inputs and outputs, but they've changed over time. If you want to know my thoughts on the latest changes and stuff like that, check out my year-old MiniRig Mark IV video. The clue that I've still got them both is they're pretty listenable. So if you didn't know, I mean, it's always been the case to me. One on its own, a little bit boring to me. It's got that tuning that people with a certain ear will always seem to like, and they don't seem to have the weight their taste on bass in the same way as I do. Not boomy bass, not boosted bass. Boom. Extended, deep, warm, cuddly bass. One MiniRig on its own won't do it. Two MiniRigs in a stereo, a little bit of magic starts to happen. But what happens when you add the sub? it is about the sub. I know it's Christmas, but I guess I should talk about the subwoofer. Somebody in my last video said, well, they said a lot of things. One of them was, you stutter a lot, mate. Are you nervous? It's not I'm nervous, it's that there's a huge amount of info in my head and I can't get it out in the right order.
That's what she said.
Yeah, she probably did say that. I'm going to have a cup of tea. I think at this point I need to take a deep breath and just try and imagine what a real reviewer would do. It doesn't really matter if I'm a real reviewer or not. This is going to go out on Christmas. That's my plan. Spoiler alert, I didn't actually record this on Christmas Day. But I was in the mood for Christmas. It's nearly Christmas. Santa bought me this for Christmas, but I had to give him the money first. Yeah, and early adopters with MiniRig, you're always a little bit behind. When I said these came in the box, that is the box it comes with, and you will also get a nice little carrier that fits in quite nicely and you can play via. But there's always something missing. There was something different between the very early versions on the Mark IV and the later ones. I've got no idea what it was, but I know some of the controls or something you have to do with the later models were different, so something had changed. There's no QR code. I didn't get a QR code for the how to use your subwoofer. It's wireless, it's new, didn't come in the box.
Oh my God!
You know, this is what we love about MiniRig. Just, you know, he's excited about the project, he wants to get it out, and some things follow later. For instance, the app didn't have the subwoofer support, and it landed. I have had some contact with MiniRig, aka David. He has given me the a beta app that's got the support for the subwoofer, and is telling me as I sit down this week that the full app support should go live. Normally I like to review it as people get it, and I've been assured, sort of, not completely, but when you get this video, the app will have that support. And at the moment, I've got that support. It's not in the app that's official. So, the Subwoofer 4, what's different between the old one and the new one? Obviously, it's got the USB-C now, where it was a barrel charger. So much more convenient. Oh, by the way, it will maybe confusing to you. It says on the bottom of that input-output 5 volts, 1.5 amps. You should know that is done because that means it meets minimums of specs. I think it's something to do not with licensing, but when it gets tested and all that. That's actually the minimum. For me personally, I can charge this. I'm getting 20 watts, and when I use this as a power bank, it's outputting 15 watts, and they say it should output 18 watts. Just know, basically, the 5 volts and 1.5 amps is put there because that's to meet minimum specs. The old price was 140 quid. We were living in a cost of living crisis. You didn't think it would be cheaper, did you? It's now £180. Is it worth it? We'll see. $240, that would work out. 140 quid. The old price, $187. It's 6 years on. It was a long time coming.
One eternity later.
So the good news is, obviously, they're making money at MiniRig. They're still in business. And it's still a guy who's hands-on enthusiast. So things come slowly, but they come. And yeah, to me, it's a niche enthusiast kind of speaker. Doesn't mean to say other people won't enjoy it. We'll get onto that in a minute. So 6 years later, what's changed? It was a 29 watt-hour battery. It's now 33.3 watt-hour battery. Obviously, had to be used wired before. There's now AAC Bluetooth. And you can still use it wired, by the way. Can you use it wired? Yeah, because it's an input and output. But I'm just, as I say that, because all I did to test it, because it said it works with MiniRig only, but actually, it still works with other speakers. And one speaker, well, I'll do that at the end. Just know that if you hook this up on its own, standalone, to your phone, and then output via the out, so the top is in, the bottom one is out, shake it all about to a device that has an auxiliary in, it will give the whole feed to the speaker and play as a subwoofer. Obviously, they need to play sort of in sync. This plays lovely in sync with that, as it did with the old subwoofer, and transform. If you've got, I'm not saying get the MiniRigs just because you've got a Soundcore Motion Plus, but if you have, it's, It's a world of enjoyment hooking up to the sub. It was 875 grams, now 1,051 grams. There's no waterproofing. You don't drop it in the sea or the pool because you won't even be covered by the warranty. The old specs were 48 hertz to 120 hertz. It's now 38 hertz to 150 hertz. It's still a 74 millimeter driver with neodymium, double neodymium magnets. That's basically the difference. So on paper, my problem with the old Subwoofer 3, especially it's been a year since the Mark 4's been out, is more. It has more of an upper bass punch. I always, please, more deep bass. Oh, he just likes boom bass. No, I like deep extended bass. And it was too upper bass oriented for me, and it didn't gel well with the Mark 4. I always missed the warm sound that I used to get from the Mark 2. But obviously you've got more clarity now, more detail resolution with the 3, and now with the 4. MiniRig assure me should sound exactly like the Mark 3. I did the review Mark 3 versus the Mark 4. For me, both my Mark 3s played warmer, a little bit deeper in the bass than the Mark 4s. But being old, they got battery issues. I had to move them on. Battery life, maximum volume, you'll get 6 hours. Battery life, average use 40 hours. Battery life, low volume 100 hours. Charge time 6 hours, but they say 4.5 watts, and you can definitely charge at 20 watts. And fast, yeah. And at 20 watts, 2 hours. So 2 hours to fully charge from knackered. It's got power bank. Why am I saying that? It's about the Subwoofer 4. You can use it as a power bank, and a decent power bank because it will output 18 watts. USB-C power delivery supported. Just to say, is anodized aluminium as it always has been. High impact ABS. It was 101.6 millimeters long. Oh. It's long. Yeah, don't go. No, it's wide. 101.6 millimeters wide and 219 millimeters tall. Exactly the same as the Subwoofer 3. By the way, a little bit bigger, please, and a bit more bass. They're sticking with these sizes, I'm told, because it's the best balance between portability and sound quality. By the way, I don't get any heads up from MiniRig at all about anything that's coming. And even though a year ago I was told they'd keep me in the loop, blah, 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 and I wouldn't have to pay for Subwoofer. I just know I did pay for that. I paid for every single MiniRig I've ever had. And I've not had the heads up on absolutely. Only reason I knew that the Subwoofer 4 was coming out is because you, my friends, told me about it. And I'm only saying that because they haven't told me anything about something coming, but there's a possible wink emoji. There may be something coming. A wink that there may be. I don't know. It's my guess. I have got no idea. They don't clue me in. There may be something bigger coming. But for a long time, they've talked about some sort of ghetto blaster, some bigger system where everything, all these drivers and the technology, you know, the way they do things is incorporated into a single unit. Is that actually going to happen? You'd think, you know, something that's more audiophile oriented in an actual, you know, a big, boomy looking speaker, I would imagine would sell well. My idea is just have a bigger subwoofer. I understand the portability, but the fact that, you know, upselling and all that being a thing, why not then have one huge subwoofer that actually you could use just at home if you're playing these at home? Because it's a modular system, all these upsets, but it seems, you know, 6 years between 3 and 4. Obviously, it's a long time thinking and producing these things. It's a gazer. It's not we're not talking anchor rhymes with, you know what? Oh. Yeah, I can connect to that standalone. As I said, I connect Bluetooth to my phone and then I output that to a speaker with auxiliary, and that's great fun. Even though they say only works with a MiniRig, so you can still do it like you used to do it. Yeah, you'd be pleased to know that was my Christmas gift to you. I haven't done it. I get into some of the sound clips before an hour of the video. First of all, you wouldn't know. Well, I know you love your test tones. I don't do test tones. I've told you multiple times why I don't do test tones. But what I do is a frequency response measurement. One MiniRig on axis without the sub, slightly V-shaped, low volumes. Volume steps very linear throughout. Notice the bass roll-off 100 Hertz and down. Quite a significant roll-off, even by the time you've hit 60%, and then by 100%, forget bass below 200 Hertz. You add in the sub, it's a whole different ball game. There is a significant lift in the bass and the bass extension. Even at maximum volume, there's a reasonable amount of bass all the way down to 50 Hertz. Overlay them, you can see the dramatic difference adding the sub to the MiniRig makes. We're getting solid extension down to 50 Hertz, and at low volumes even below that. Maximum volume bass is now holding up pretty well, whereas before, from 80% and above, was a complete lack of noticeable bass. That's totally remedied when you add in the sub now. Trying to see if there is any additional headroom. If I push everything to max, you can see you will get a tad more volume because there's a bit more mids and a bit more highs. It doesn't look like pushing all the sliders will get you any more bass, but we'll see a bit later on. If you just concentrate on the bass itself, you can eke out a little bit more. So it appears to be really, really good news. It's definitely digging deeper than the old Sub 3, and that is good news in my book. Because when a subwoofer, because that was always my thing about, what do you call it? It is a standalone subwoofer on the 3, just too punchy. Where's that deep bass then? If we're going, that's to me why you'd go for a separate sub. So we're genuinely going deep on, certainly on the measurements in the real world, not a test tone, in the real world. You know, down to about -3 dB. 40% looks like we are down to 30 Hertz, 60% 40 Hertz, 80% a real world 45 Hertz. They're saying 38 Hertz, and that looks real. Obviously, they're not quoting the volume. So it's definitely going deeper. That's the good news. You want to know what it sounds like? Well, there's a bloke down the road. No. So it's not low volumes, lowish volumes. It is quite lowish on these two, but anyway. And I'm going to actually go through each step so you understand what adding another unit to the MiniRigs does. So 1.0, 1.1, because it's hand over stuttery. It's not I'm stuttery. It's like I've got a million things I know. So immediately I should tell you, on my wish list, they could get a bit lost about me. I have asked for a long time and never given me. Got feet on the subwoofer. Why can't we have feet on the Mark IV? It's made to be played on axis as well as off axis, if you didn't know. It's got tilt EQ. It knows if it's that way round or that way round, and it will change its tuning. It will be slightly brighter when it's this way up. But look, if you don't have your own feet on there, it's really wobbly, and you can play it that way. They tuned it to play that way, but why can't we have just 2 feet there? For what, a 50 pence or whatever, let's probably 10 pence each, 2 little feet, solid. Why can't we do that? And because I always make this mistake, early adopter, get them in the same colour. Which one is the master when they're paired? Well, I've got different colour feet. So my master is black and my slave is white. 40% volume and playing relative. What do you get? 1.0, 2.0, 1.1, 2.1. the configurations compared, the takeaway is a second MiniRig on its own will add significant volume or loudness over a single MiniRig, and these are playing at the same volume steps, and adding in the sub, whether it's 1.1 or 2.1, gives you a significant increase in the bass and bass extension. If we overlay them to see exactly what's happening, you can see it's night and day between a sub and not having a sub, even a 1.1 against a 2.0. I always said the magic starts when you add a single MiniRig, but obviously it's always about you can build the system up. Magic happens as soon as you add the second one. You do get a really solid, airy stereo image with a really solid center phantom where the vocals are, normally. And it becomes sparkly, and it opens it all up. If you've got one, whether you add the sub or another MiniRig, magic will happen either way. If you're not bothered about your bass, the magic will happen when you add the second MiniRig Mark IV. If you like your bass, the magic will happen when you add the sub.
Glass bottle, glass bottle, glass bottle.
It's a really good fit now, albeit overall it's a little bit V-shaped. Still a little bit upper bass oriented, but nowhere like before. Now there's a decent punch, but decent extension with it, and overall pretty nicely balanced. It's a good listen now, I would say. It ain't cheap. Obviously, I think this is about 140. I'm going to write it down. Why not? Because I'm not a geezer. I think this is about 140 quid, and these are 180 quid. Not cheap, but it's for a certain niche market, certainly for the enthusiasts, because when you get into the app, I don't know whether to... I'll cover it all, I guess, in this video, because it's Christmas, but nothing else to do. Of course, that'll be for one day only, and then every day you'll be opening it. People will see it for the first time and say, what's he going on about? It's summer. Yeah, what was I talking about? Well, that's the problem. I was talking and don't know. But just saying, then the magic happens for me when you had the sub, nicely balanced now, and then go 2.1. You got a proper listen. You got a proper listen. I have to tell you, I'm not comparing it to anything else in the speaker in this video.
Damn, son.
This my favourite all-round listen is the Harman Kardon Go Play 3. But the 2.1 against Harman Kardon Play 3, which we know is an open sparkly speaker, it makes it sound muddy. That's how solid and open and airy and clear and how detailed it is when you have the two of them playing in stereo. My dream is to have, obviously, a 2.2. But obviously, I'm paying for my MiniRigs. It's Christmas and I'm running out of dosh. Who knows, one day, because it is a good listen now. So that was at 40%. For me, real world volumes, well, even pushing proper volumes now. At 75% volume, won't do the 2.0, 1.0, 1.1, 2.1. What happens relative, and I'll also let you hear what happens when it's normalized.
Quit playing games with
Same old story. You add a sub, whether it's 1.1 or 2.1, you're getting a big uplift in the bass. And when you add the second MiniRig as well, you get the extra bass and you get the extra loudness. So each step, whether it's a second MiniRig or a separate subwoofer, is a significant upgrade. So now, when you go advanced mode, you go into the app, you will have, hopefully very soon, if you haven't got it now, separate controls for the subwoofer. You can adjust the overall level. Now, I personally have found this fiddly, which is why in a minute I'm going to tell you why I'm using the 70 hertz. I can't get the hang of using the level, but you have got the ability there to just change the level and the deeper bass or the upper bass on the subwoofer itself, and that is can I reset it? Reset. I can't. This is why I find it fiddly. Yeah, I go there. If you just push 70 hertz in the app, you should know it's affecting both the MiniRig Mark IV and the subwoofer. But just so you can hear, is there a real headroom over default? Even at maximum, obviously, the further up you go in volume, less headroom you'll have on the subwoofer. At 75%, just so you can hear the difference pushing the 70 hertz slider makes.
Just want to give this thing. Can you take it home? 'Cause we ain't seen what this could be. Quit playing games, just come in.
When you push the 70 hertz slider in the app, it's affecting both the subwoofer and the MiniRig itself. This is different to the dial for the bass in the subwoofer section of the app. In terms of that 70 hertz slider, when you max it out, you'll get a little bit less in the mids and the highs. You will get a significant dollop of extra bass, 150 hertz and down. And the adjustment for the mids and highs is because I've pushed the 70 hertz to max. Once it's maxed out, the actual gain it's going to give you, it'll start adjusting the mids and the highs to make it sound a bit more bassy. But there is significant headroom, even 75% loudness, to alter the sound of your MiniRig system. So there is real headroom, but if you max out the 70 hertz, it will start adjusting the mids and highs down a little nudge.
Now what I mean, nudge.
So instead of actually pushing the 70 hertz up a bit more, it's, don't forget, 70 hertz, it's actually pretty wide. It's like 40 hertz, so 120 hertz or something like that. Or actually it goes even higher. But the peak of the wave is at 70 hertz. If you haven't maxed it out, you will get extra oomph at 70 hertz. But when you max it out, it will start adjusting down. So overall, you're still getting a more bass heavy. It's a lot better than some of the big companies do it. It's well judged. Real headroom, maximum volume.
Now dead, nothing left to do.
when you hit maximum volume, adding that second mini rig outside of adding a sub gives you a significant uplift in the overall loudness. And then when you add in the subwoofer, again, you get another uplift in overall loudness and in terms of that bass, whether it's mid bass, upper bass, or deeper bass. Overall loudness, just adding the sub between the 1.1 and the 1 and the 1.0, over a decibel louder, and there's 6 decibels gain in total bass. And adding a second mini rig to the 1.1, that's over 4 decibels louder now, and another couple of decibels in the bass overall. So for me, subwoofer is a total game changer. In terms of headroom, maxing out the EQ altogether gives you more volume in terms of the mids and the highs, near decibel and a half extra loudness, and slightly more bass over, not pushing the EQ at all, but pushing 70 hertz to maximum. And that will mean some adjustment from the mids and the highs, not huge, but a little bit, and you will gain a little bit in the bass. And so the little bit more in the bass, again, with the lower mids and highs, will make it sound a little bit more bass heavy again. It's basically the same story if it's a pure frequency response, although I had some anomalies going on at the high end. Basically, it's the same story as we've seen in the real world testing. 2.1. It goes loud. 111 I was getting with the EQ maxed out. Remember, that's going to come more from the mids and highs. It's loud. That's proper loud. You know, that's up with those, what we call the big boom systems. But it, obviously in a more, with bass, that's the thing. Most of these will cut all their bass. Which obviously it's a lot more rolled off now, but there's still bass there, even at maximum volume. You know, and adding whether it's the second one of what you said or the subwoofer, when it comes to overall headroom, really makes a difference in terms of pushing the bass. As I said, there is a lot of fiddling you can do, and a lot of it's DJ oriented with the MiniRig app, and they're always updating it. And sometimes things work, sometimes they don't. Or it seems a lot better now than it used to be, although it's a bit clunky. It's a bit clunky, but that's you've just got to love that about MiniRig. They are not one of these huge, cold, impersonal companies. But pushing that 70 hertz will still get you a bit more of a bassy sound, you know, making use. So I can only dream at this point of how it would be adding the second subwoofer. So I said very solid every image. Yeah, it's a very solid stereo image that you get. So I really like it with the subwoofer. Overall, still slightly V-shaped, but well judged. Obviously, it's got to sound exciting as well. And, you know, flat is all about really being in a well-treated room and all that stuff. So we're not going to get bogged down in that. As long as we've got some bass extension and detail, we're pretty happy on a Christmas day. You're probably not watching on a Christmas day, and therefore you'll be saying... He's been saying he's hesitating a lot. I will always hesitate. Because it's just the way I am. I'm an enthusiast. Just sitting down, get really excited. About Christmas and all that, and the speakers. I'm just going to give you a quick blast of using the subwoofer separate, a standalone. Let me turn those off. Now I've got to connect to that. To the sub. I'm connected to the sub. Let me play this without the sub and then with, and you'll hear how fun it becomes. And we turn that on. I'm going, no copyright. It's playing in there. You silly boy. I'm going to have to connect that. Right. The Motion Plus on its own. Now with the subwoofer, so connected to the sub, I'm going to use the auxiliary out, auxiliary in. turn this up, I think.
I'm about to pop off. You're lost. We all know that we never really want to bond. So I'm sorry when it's over. I'm back. Wishes from people that don't really do it like you.
It's got a proper thump to it. It's great. It's good fun, and you can do that as long as they gel well together, latency-wise. So that was that. That's what Santa Claus brought me for Christmas. I hope you're going to have a nice Christmas. Keep going on. This video will only be relevant for one day. But hey, we do things like that on this channel. We don't care about the algorithm. We don't care about monetization, but only a little bit. It's nice to get a little bit, but I'm never going to be Jake Paul, 50 million quid to dance around a ring and then run out of gas. You couldn't make it up. By the way, that was today. Yeah. In my opinion, I thought it just made Anthony Joshua look slow, cumbersome. I thought he did really well, but looking at some of the comments, it just and it was just a matter of catching up with him. Look, Jake Paul landed on Anthony Joshua. Anthony Joshua was missing. This is Jake Paul. What everyone said was a joke. And look at the difference in height and weight. I thought he'd done a great job. It's just a shame his cardio gave out again. And his leg, apparently. Yeah. But, in the end, he just had his hands down, unfortunately. And he took it clean on the chin. Still didn't knock him out. You've got to hand it to Jake Paul for a YouTuber. Us YouTubers, we're not to be messed about with. But 50 million quid. Not a bad night's work. But anyway, that's just me. That's just me saying, I thought he'd done really well. And let's see what happens. See what he can do at cruiser or light heavyweight. Right. Oh, happy Christmas. And if you're not watching this on Christmas, we'll have when Christmas comes around next year. Let's hope. It's a lot better than things are at the moment this year. Happy New Year and all that, while it's still relevant. Look, any time of the year you say Happy New Year, it's going to be relevant. Because at some point, one day, it will be the new year. Take it easy and have the best time of your life for as long as you can.
What the was that?
It comes from China.
My speaker's got deep bass, balanced mids, and a bright high.
Yes, mine sounds exactly the same.